Imagine standing at the edge of existence, about to take a step into the unknown. Every human, regardless of culture or era, faces this moment, an encounter with mystery, fear, and hope. Ancient Egyptians confronted this inevitability not with dread, but with meticulous preparation, guided by a sacred roadmap, the Book of the Dead. At the heart of this mystical guide stood Thoth, the wise guardian who illuminated the shadowy path, empowering souls to journey confidently into eternity. From the earliest humans staring into the night sky, the mystery of death has sparked curiosity and anxiety. The ancient Egyptians envisioned the afterlife as a realm of continued existence, a necessary continuation, not an end. Psychology today echoes this yearning, acknowledging a universal desire for meaning, continuity, and permanence that transcends physical existence. Death, after all, is humanity's greatest unknown, an existential boundary we desperately seek to comprehend. The ancient Egyptians dealt with their fear of death by creating detailed funeral rituals and a sacred guide called the Book of the Dead. This book was filled with spells and rituals meant to help the soul travel safely through the afterlife. These practices show that humans naturally look for comfort, structure, and hope when facing the unknown. Even today, psychologists say that rituals help people cope with fear and give them a sense of control during uncertain times. As we grapple with mortality, science confirms ancient insights. Facing death consciously, guided by wisdom and ritual, can impact how meaningfully we live. The Egyptians remind us, confronting our mortality is not merely an ending, it's an affirmation of life's purpose. Many people think the Book of the Dead was one single book, but that's not true. It was actually a collection of different spells, prayers, and rituals. Each person had their own version, made just for them. These were written on papyrus scrolls, or the walls of tombs. The goal was to help the person safely travel through the afterlife. These texts acted like spiritual guidebooks, giving people comfort and a sense of control during a very uncertain time. Modern psychology recognizes ritual as a powerful coping tool, granting us perceived control over uncontrollable situations. In Egypt, these rituals addressed human vulnerabilities, creating frameworks for overcoming psychological distress related to death's mysteries. Each spell, prayer, and symbolic act provided emotional comfort, affirming the soul's capacity to navigate eternal realms successfully. Today, psychological research supports these ancient practices, confirming that rituals significantly reduce anxiety, enhance self-efficacy, and bolster resilience. Consider mourning rituals or rites of passage, still prevalent worldwide. They remain critical to psychological well-being, mirroring Egyptian methods of preparation. Thus, the Book of the Dead wasn't merely mystical, it was psychologically sophisticated, fostering empowerment, comfort, and spiritual stability in the face of life's ultimate challenge. Central to the soul's passage was Thoth, god of wisdom, writing, and magic. Depicted with the head of an ibis or baboon, Thoth personified knowledge, guidance, and enlightened judgment. In the underworld's darkest realms, Thoth illuminated paths obscured by confusion and fear, symbolizing the essential role of guidance in transcending life's uncertainties. Psychology underscores mentorship's crucial role in personal development. Just as mentors guide individuals through life's complexities, Thoth guided souls through spiritual trials, emphasizing the transformative power of wisdom and clarity. His presence in the afterlife narrative demonstrates an innate psychological truth. Facing unknowns with knowledge and mentorship enhances courage and preparedness.
Thoth's mastery of magic represents the psychological belief in preparation's transformative power. Equipped with Thoth's wisdom, souls could confidently confront daunting existential challenges. This symbolic representation aligns with contemporary psychological concepts of informed optimism. Understanding and knowledge fortify courage, diminish fear, and promote personal growth. Thus, Thoth embodies timeless wisdom. Guidance, mentorship, and knowledge are essential companions in navigating life's ultimate uncertainties, underscoring the intersection between ancient spirituality and modern psychology. A pivotal moment in the soul's journey is the Hall of Judgment. Here, the heart, symbolizing one's moral essence, was weighed against Ma'at's feather, representing cosmic truth and justice. A balanced heart ensured passage into paradise. Imbalance led to eternal despair. This vivid imagery mirrors modern psychology's concept of conscience and moral self-evaluation. Ancient Egyptians deeply valued ethical conduct, believing life's choices carried eternal consequences. Psychologically, this parallels modern theories of cognitive dissonance and moral conscience, illustrating our intrinsic need for ethical harmony. This scene resonates today, echoing humanity's enduring struggle with moral accountability. By embedding morality within their afterlife beliefs, Egyptians reinforced ethical living, fostering a societal fabric built upon justice, truth, and fairness. Modern psychology echoes this dynamic, recognizing how internal moral evaluation significantly shapes personal identity, emotional health, and social cohesion. Ultimately, the Hall of Judgment symbolizes an enduring psychological truth. Ethical awareness and accountability influence our earthly and spiritual journeys, deeply entwining morality with existential purpose. The journey through the Egyptian underworld was fraught with terrifying challenges, monstrous guardians, perilous paths, and soul-testing trials. These daunting images symbolize life's real psychological struggles: fear, doubt, despair, and resilience. Contemporary psychology acknowledges life as inherently challenging, highlighting internal and external obstacles we must navigate. Ancient Egyptians' depiction of these supernatural trials illustrate a sophisticated understanding of psychological resilience. Confronting terrifying underworld guardians, souls symbolically battled life's most internal fears: failure, isolation, inadequacy. These perilous encounters parallel psychological truths recognized today. Overcoming adversity strengthens character, reinforcing identity and purpose. Egyptians understood this implicitly. Every soul's successful navigation reaffirmed human strength, flexibility, and courage, resonating deeply with our contemporary psychological insights into human perseverance. Navigating these formidable trials required magical aid, ritual spells and incantations detailed meticulously within the Book of the Dead. These empowered souls psychologically reinforced their confidence and self-belief amidst existential challenges. Psychologists today recognize the transformative power of belief, manifesting through placebo effects, intention setting, and visualization. Egyptians harnessed similar psychological mechanisms, believing wholeheartedly that rituals and positive intention influenced outcomes. Thus, spells were psychological empowerment tools, bolstering self-efficacy and courage. By instilling unwavering faith in spiritual guidance, Egyptians cultivated optimism, a powerful psychological strategy for overcoming anxiety and fear, an insight remarkably aligned with modern psychological principles of positive thinking. Rich with symbolic language, the Book of the Dead employed vivid imagery to articulate complex emotional and existential concepts. Symbolism serves as a universal psychological language, translating abstract experiences into accessible truths.
Modern psychology explores symbols through Jungian archetypes, universal motifs embedded deeply within collective human consciousness. Egyptian symbolism similarly tapped universal psychological truths: death, rebirth, heroism, sacrifice, resonating emotionally and spiritually across generations. The imagery within these texts remains psychologically relevant, embodying archetypal truths about existence, transformation, and self-awareness. By decoding these symbols today, we continue to uncover deep psychological insights into humanity's enduring search for meaning, courage, and spiritual transcendence. Among all the chapters in the Book of the Dead, chapter 125 holds special importance. It is often referred to as the Declaration of Innocence, or negative confession. In this powerful section, the soul stands before the gods and recites a series of statements like, "I have not stolen," "I have not lied," or "I have not harmed others." These aren't just religious vows, they are personal reflections on one's life choices. This chapter is deeply connected to modern psychology's idea of self-assessment. Just like in therapy or moral development, this process invites a person to reflect on their actions, values, and integrity. It's about taking responsibility without blame, shame, or denial. Chapter 125 teaches us that accountability is key to peace of mind. Being honest with ourselves about how we live gives us emotional clarity and inner strength. It shows that morality was, and still is, a foundation for spiritual and psychological growth. Today, the Book of the Dead still inspires writers, filmmakers, artists, and spiritual thinkers around the world. It appears in Hollywood movies like The Mummy, in novels, video games, and museum exhibits. This ancient text is now seen as a powerful symbol of mystery, magic, and the soul's journey after death. Its lasting influence shows that people are still deeply interested in the idea of an afterlife. Psychologists say this fascination is rooted in something very human: the desire to understand what happens when we die. Even in modern times, when science plays a big role in our lives, we still turn to myths and ancient stories to make sense of the unknown. The symbols and lessons in the Book of the Dead speak to our deepest fears and hopes. By reimagining these ancient ideas in new forms, modern culture keeps the conversation alive about life, death, and the possibility of something more. The Book of the Dead was more than just a collection of spells. It was a reflection of an entire civilization's belief system. For the ancient Egyptians, this sacred text deeply influenced their everyday lives. It guided how they lived, how they died, and how they prepared for what came after. From burial practices to ethical behavior, the ideas in the book shaped Egyptian society for thousands of years. Today, psychologists recognize that cultural beliefs have a strong effect on how people think, behave, and see the world. These beliefs form the core of our identity and help us make sense of life's challenges. The spiritual teachings in the Book of the Dead gave Egyptians comfort, purpose, and hope. And modern psychology sees that as incredibly powerful, showing us how deeply spirituality can support human well-being. Many of the core ideas in the Book of the Dead are surprisingly similar to what people practice today. The Egyptians believed in self-reflection, inner peace, and being in harmony with the universe. These are the same values behind modern practices like meditation, mindfulness, and breathwork. People today use these tools to reduce stress, find clarity, and feel more connected to something bigger than themselves. Just like the ancient Egyptians, we seek peace in the present moment and guidance for the journey ahead. The symbols and teachings from the book still inspire spiritual seekers all over the world. What makes the Book of the Dead truly timeless is its ability to speak to the deepest questions we all ask. What happens when we die? Is there something more beyond this life? These aren't just ancient concerns. They are still the core of human curiosity today. No matter who we are or where we come from, we all wonder about the unknown. The Book of the Dead doesn't give us clear, definite answers. Instead, it offers a map, a guide that encourages us to explore these mysteries for ourselves. It reminds us that life is more than just survival. It's a spiritual journey filled with meaning, growth, and wonder. In today's fast-paced world, this ancient book invites us to slow down and ask the big questions. It teaches us that curiosity isn't something to fear. It's the beginning of wisdom. And perhaps the afterlife is not an ending, but a new beginning. If you've made it this far, thank you, truly. It means you're someone who seeks more than just surface-level answers. The Book of the Dead isn't just a relic of the past. It's a mirror, a guide. So if something in this story stirred something in you, curiosity, wonder, even a little awe, don't let it fade. Subscribe, leave a comment, or just share your thoughts. Let's explore these ancient truths together.